everyone, and welcome to another edition of Sports Talk in the Burgh. I'm Sam Anthony. Alongside me is Rashad, Christian, and Greg Sutton. My mistake.
Thanks, Sam. I appreciate it.
They throw me off with these switches every week, but
we just love Ian so much.
Let's get right to the show. Ian is always with us at heart, guys. But we're going to start the show here. It was a disappointing way to end the season for the Pittsburgh Steelers, who looked inept on both sides of the ball and fell to the New England Patriots 36-17. Guys, is there anyone we can blame in particular for this loss?
2 words for you. The defense. They were terrible that game. They let up 431 yards. I mean, I understand they have a young squad, but they have experience on there like James Harrison. He's a leader on that defense, and he didn't perform against the Patriots like he should have, and he didn't set an example for the young.
And you're 100% right. But you know who I blame for this one in particular?
Who do you blame, Sam?
Antonio Brown.
And
distractions.
Pause.
What did he do?
Wait.
In any?
Really?
Did he make any big plays?
I mean, you need your quarterback to give him the
Did he
ball,
make
right?
any big
How do
plays?
you make a big play?
You mean the 300 yards he threw?
Sam,
Did he throw them all to Antonio
How do you
Brown?
make a big play as a wide receiver
Get open.
when you're covered?
Get open.
You can't get a play
So
if you're covered the whole
Antonio
time.
Brown is truly the great receiver that we all think that he thinks he is. He thinks he is just a gift
He's
to
not wrong.
football.
He's
Then why
not wrong.
did he not play better?
Malcolm Butler played fantastic defense on him.
You can't use that as an excuse if you're considered one of the best wide receivers in football.
Then you can't use the defense as an excuse to lose the game. There's no excuses
You
here
can
then.
blame the defense for the Steelers because they let Chris Hogan set a career record.
Yeah,
for
the
himself.
secondary for the Steelers was completely atrocious.
They got schooled.
Yeah.
They got embarrassed. But it doesn't take away from the fact that Antonio Brown should be better, especially after the distractions he came and brought the game. All I'm saying is think about that. If he wanted everyone to stop talking about that Facebook video, he needed to come out and play the game of his life, and he did not show up. Come on, how many times did you realistically see Antonio Brown?
Okay, more importantly.
He caught what? Let me look at your stats here. Let's see, 9 targets, 7 receptions. Yeah, I mean, it's not like he had a completely horrible game with 3 receptions
But
and
did
50
he do
yards.
anything? Did he do anything productive?
He didn't do anything
The
productive.
Steelers didn't do anything as a whole.
Ben Roethlisberger threw for 314 yards.
Did
You're
they
telling me
win the
that's
game?
not
They scored
productive.
17 points. You can throw 300 yards all you want. If you're not winning the
All
game,
right,
then
guys,
I mean,
we have to move on. All right, so after this Sunday's performance in Foxborough, what factors haven't the Pittsburgh Steelers figured out about playing Tom Brady and Bill Belichick at home?
Well, how about they get out of that zone coverage? Can we talk about how they need
did.
to sit there and
They
Tom
did the
Brady
second half.
and then try and goes to the man and still get destroyed.
Yeah.
Then how
Either
about we get pressure on the quarterback then? Because the 2 sacks.
You can't do that with an all-star offensive
They hold a
line.
pocket for at least 6 to 8 seconds.
Tom Brady was literally walking behind his line.
He
But
stood
if you're
there
a
for at least a
Super
second
Bowl
or two.
caliber team, you can't let that happen.
Obviously, they're not Super Bowl caliber. They
They're
lost
not
this
in the
game.
Super
They're
Bowl.
not Super Bowl caliber.
Yeah.
Then why were they in this game even, is what I'm telling
Because
you.
their offense was lethal.
Chris
before coming
Boswell
into this
carried
one.
them the last game. That's why they're here.
Yeah.
That's
I
why
mean,
they
their
made it
offense
far.
drove still. They
Boswell
couldn't
literally
score in the
scored all
end
their
zone against
points.
one of the best red
I
zone defenses
understand
in
that.
football.
I'm just saying that's the reason why they got to where they were. They're not a Super Bowl caliber team now because they're out of the playoffs. They
you
weren't.
could still blame that defensive line for not doing anything. They were useless.
The fact of the matter is, Bill Belichick is one of the greatest coaches in NFL history.
And nobody's arguing that.
No, definitely. You can't. I mean, there's no
And
argument.
Tom Brady is one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time.
Like, look at these numbers he's putting up against the Steelers. Like, he hasn't lost in the AFC Championship, throwing for nearly 600 yards
Against
and
the
5
Steelers,
touchdowns.
let's be clear.
No
he hasn't
picks,
lost
by
in
the
AFC
way.
Championship.
0, but Ben's thrown 4.
I mean, like,
how do
you're
you-
looking at the numbers right here.
Honestly, how can you beat stats like that whenever you're playing against them at home in the playoffs in a championship game with
And
Bill
then your
Belichick
defense on top of that is bad as
Exactly.
well.
You have to game plan. You have to be a gamer here. You have to look at Tom Brady and what he brings to the table and play against him.
Everything. He brought everything to the table.
There's a way to game plan against Tom
Yes,
Brady.
I think there is. There has to be a way to game plan against quarterbacks. But clearly we're not going to agree on one quarterback, so let's talk about another. Ben Roethlisberger, on his weekly radio show this morning, 93.7 The Fan, the star QB stated he was unsure about his future with the team next season, hinting at potential retirement. Do you really think Ben's going to go through with this, or what can the Steelers even do without him if he leaves?
Well,
they're going to sink, first of all, once he's gone. And I don't think it'll be next year because maybe this is just all talk for now, but he still has another at least 1 to 2 more good years in him.
but at this point, you also have to think he has a family at home to raise now. He's
He's had a family at home to
I
raise.
understand, but
and
his
he's been
kids are
doing
starting
it.
to grow up. His oldest is probably, I think, 4 or 5 now, 3, 4, or 5, somewhere in that range.
Okay.
And he's realizing that he's probably missing a lot during the season while he's away at these games. So maybe he wants to be home And he's been injury riddled his whole career.
I agree with the injury riddle part. I believe that, but he has his whole. I mean, you play 3 more years, he has he's not going to work for the rest of his life.
No,
he
he's
can
not.
spend all the time he wants with his kids.
I'm just saying now, though. That's probably
not
what's going
something
through his
think.
mind after this.
I'm
this
thinking
last
he's
game.
upset with the team. He's frustrated. This is to make a statement to the Pittsburgh Steelers that they need to do something. Because
I think it's more so at his
he's
defense.
good enough. And you're right.
Yeah.
But why haven't the Steelers made a move to sign a big player on defense? We don't. Do the Steelers have a playmaker? Do they have someone who goes?
Definitely not.
We're missing the Troy Polamalu
That's
factor.
exactly what it is. We haven't had a Troy Polamalu on defense since Troy Polamalu.
Someone needs to come in and make the timely turnovers. And you know what? You have guys like Shazier, who's looked really well in linebacker. You have guys like Harrison who look really good, but they don't have that one star. And Roethlisberger's saying, if they're not going to go out and make a move, he's going to leave.
And they made Bud Dupree sound like a big thing, but he really hasn't turned out to be exactly what they were set out for. So like you said, with nobody supporting him on the other side of the ball, Ben might not be able to do what he needs to do.
All right, we're going to table this for another time. But last week, the official announcement was made for the construction of the UPMC Event Center here on campus. How are you guys feeling about this announcement?
I'm excited.
Really?
Unbelievably excited, because this is something that has needed to happen for a really long time. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Sewell has some very nice facilities.
Oh, Sewell is a great arena, but
I've seen those locker rooms. They're unbelievable.
Yeah.
Those teams get the treatment. But this is going to be something that, one, is going to help Robert Morris move up in other conferences, which is going to help the caliber of recruits we get, which is going to help the caliber of teams. You're going to help keep high caliber coaches like an Andy Toole. And I know you might not agree with me on Andy Toole as a coach, but I think he's a high caliber coach who, if you get him in a better conference like the A10, he'll stay.
I'm excited for the university, but at the same time, you got to think maybe, just maybe, that they should have moved an arena for hockey to campus. That way, maybe you get more
But there's
attendance to the
so
hockey
much
game.
more to that than just moving hockey, because
I'm
if you get rid
excited
of
for the
that, you
university.
have to sell the island, which brings so much to the university in general. And look at that. I mean, once
that is
again,
a
it's
completely
comes
beautiful
down
center.
to what the money sports are. It's basketball and football.
yeah.
And if
Our
you're talking
football
about a
team
team
sucks.
that's realistically going to win, it's going to be basketball. Look at the women's basketball team. This is a team that right now is beginning to build a new culture under their new head coach, Charlie Biscaglia. And something that they could have is with this new stadium, it just builds so much more.
I have a
of that.
question for you. You mentioned that moving up to a bigger conference will help Andy Toole become a better coach, per se. You think the NEC is hurting him?
I think
As a
the
coach?
NEC's hurting him because he can't get the kind of guys that you want. Like,
Yeah.
One, they don't have talent, but two, they don't have the heart, they don't have the hustle. They don't want
Oh,
to
not
be
at all.
there.
That hashtag grit thing is,
It's, yeah.
come on now. It's ridiculous.
And now, speaking of that, we're going to talk about men's basketball.
Yeah.
After signing the one-year extension to keeping him in Moon until 2021, men's basketball head coach Andy Toole watched his team squander a 12-point lead to a 15-5 Bryant squad. Very disappointing, and they fall to 7-14 on the season. So why is it that this team has been unable to close out these games?
Well, first off, they're 5-15. Get that right.
My
Brian is.
mistake.
It's okay. It's okay. You're I cannot speak. Overestimating how good they are. I mean, this Bryant team is absolutely
They're not good.
disgusting. They're horrible. And the fact that we're giving up leads. It's not like we've had several leads earlier this year and haven't kept them. It's just the fact that we can't compete with any of these teams in the second half. It's like, yeah, sure, we're close to them in the first, but once the second half comes around, it's like they take their foot off the pedal and they just start to give up.
And I feel like they have weak play on the road, too. Their road record isn't very good. They're not even close to 500 on the road.
No.
I feel like if you can't play strong on the road, how are you going to have a strong record overall?
You know what bothers me, though? And this goes back to head coach Andy Toole, because I believe a lot of what goes on in college basketball is with the head coach. And he's clearly a proven head coach. He has had all of Robert Morris's signature wins under his belt.
Yeah.
But if you ask him, you look at press conferences this year, he's trying sitting down.
Oh,
during
he is
work.
upset with his players.
He's trying to be more positive on the sideline, which he's going at it all wrong. He's trying to change who he is as a coach, hoping the players will change with him. And this comes down to the fact that some of these guys just don't have that will to win. They don't want it, and they don't have that. If they don't have that heart, they're never going to win any of these close games.
Oh, not at all. I mean, stats there, they've gotten beat by double digits 7 times this season.
It's
and
embarrassing. to
All right,
watch.
guys, we'll talk about this over break. But when we come back, we're going to find out who shouldn't be starting the NBA All-Star game and who we think is going to win Super Bowl 51. Come back after the break on Sports Talk in the Burgh.
Looking for these? You drive buzzed. It could be one very expensive ride.
First, you gotta make bail. Then pay me to get your car back.
your insurance premiums will go through the roof.
And my legal fees just keep adding up. All told, it could end up costing you $10,000.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
To Maddie, congrats on paying off all those student loans.
Finally, right?
How'd you manage that anyway?
I started tracking my spending, changed a couple of habits.
Wow, I'm kind of living paycheck to paycheck right now. I don't even know how I'm doing it.
Well, have you tried saving a little?
I want to, but where's that money gonna come from? Bill collectors, they're the worst. Am I right?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
Not home.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
Welcome back to Sports Talk in the Burgh. Colonials have won 3 of their last 4 contests, including a 41-point win against LIU Brooklyn. So the question remains, who should be more appreciated for this recent success, Anna Nikki or Coach B?
So you know what? This is perfect timing because I just got back from interviewing Coach B and Anna Nikki Samalamper.
So you have firsthand knowledge.
And I have firsthand knowledge, but just my reaction to is I love what Coach Biscaglia is doing with this team. He's talked about building a culture, all right, a culture and a style, a type of players, which is different than what Coach Sal did, which Coach Sal adjusted the style of play based on the team they're playing. He has a style in mind of the team he wants to build, and I like the direction they're headed, and he's been doing a lot with what he has.
I'm going to say this. It's going to be easy as this. I understand Anna Nikki, she's been doing a great job. Coach B, he's really leading the team. He's doing well. But I'm going to have to put it like this. You can't say Anna Nikki is the team because the team is the reason why they're succeeding. Yeah. She isn't scoring all the points, so I'm going to give the credit to the team overall.
And the coaching, as a unit. Because the coach has to put these players in the right place and running plays.
Exactly, so it's the team as a whole, not just one person.
You know what? Anna Nikki makes the plays when it counts, like the play last night against Central Connecticut, that 3 with 21 seconds left. But when it comes down to it, she struggled in the Bryant game and in the Central Connecticut game for the first 3 quarters. And if she's truly the key, then she needs to play a full game.
That's all right. We're going to move on to our next topic here.
We're going to talk NBA here. We're going to talk NBA. I was a little too into that. The NBA announced their all-star lineups this past Thursday, leaving notable MVP candidate Russell Westbrook out of the starting lineup. Are there any other snubs in this all-star ballot, or are you happy with these selections?
Besides the Steph Curry over Russell Westbrook one, I think I'm fine with it, honestly.
Isn't there a new way they're voting this
yeah, and it's complete. It's ridiculous.
Could you explain that?
Here we go.
Explain it real quick, calmly, please.
Fans get 50% of the final vote. Media and players get 25%.
So,
it's a popularity contest, which it shouldn't be. The man is averaging a triple-double on the year.
Wait, but hold on. Isn't the purpose of the All-Star game for the fans?
Exactly my
it's
point.
Who the fans
so if you think
see.
about this, when Russell Westbrook walks into an arena, how many arenas does he get booed at? As soon as they say, and your point guard, Russell Westbrook. Boo!
And you know who they love? You know who they love?
Steph Curry.
Steph Curry. And who got voted to the starting lineup? Steph
They
Curry.
give more power to the fans, so they make them feel more involved, which brings more views to the
Which
All-Star
is ridiculous,
game.
by the way.
Which
is why Zaza Pachulia would have been in the starting lineup had it not been for the 25% media and 25% players.
But you have to understand, the thing that does is take away the fact that you're going to have everyone from the LA Lakers making the team, or everyone from the Boston Celtics with a larger fan base. It gives teams like with Giannis
Antetokounmpo.
There we go. His name, who I can't even spell.
It's okay.
But he wouldn't be in the All-Star game if it was just fans voting because he's a small market. You don't have enough Milwaukee fans voting for him.
See, if you watched basketball enough, as much as
Hey,
I did, you'd realize that Giannis has not only stepped up his game, averaging 24 and 9 in his 4th year, But
Exactly,
he's
though. He
making
deserves to be in there.
Fans love him. Fans at Madison Square Garden were asking for his autograph. Knicks fans, after he destroyed the Knicks
You know what else fans
in
love?
New York.
You know what else fans love? AHC hockey. With 10 games left in the regular season, what % chance do the Colonials have at winning the Atlantic Hockey Conference?
You guys
None.
got me all
Zero.
riled up now.
They currently sit in 4th
Wow,
place
none?
behind Canisius.
None.
That's
Not a chance.
0.
I want you to look at who's
What?
ahead of
That's
them.
rough.
They can't see it, but the teams that are ahead of them are Air Force, Army, Canisius, all teams that we have lost to.
They've competed with all
They
of
have
them,
competed
Sam.
with them, but we have lost to them. And clearly we can have
We've
beat them with
lost
the
one or
roster
two
we have.
games with 2
With
out of
both
3
of them.
teams. We're 50% with almost every one of those teams.
But did we win? Did we sweep them? No.
No, we didn't sweep them, but we competed, which
So
means
how
they
are
have
we
a
going to be
chance
able
to
to
win
jump
the
them
AFC.
right now when we're that far out? We're sitting in 4th place. They're not
Fourth
going to make
place.
that
See, the
climb.
thing is, when you need a second day to beat Air Force after they destroy you 6-2, that's going to be a problem once you run into them in the playoffs.
In the conference tournament, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think
they're going to
they
go
can
in there
do
and they're
it.
going to beat them.
But I think
might
they
be
can do
able
it.
to.
Explain
Because
to me.
they've beat them once before. It may not have been
They
a great
lost to
win.
them once
They've
before.
lost to them once before.
And they
They're
lost to them worse than they
50%.
won.
It's okay. They won. That's the thing.
That's your only
That's
argument
all
is that
you
they won.
need.
That's
Sam.
That's not all you need.
Going
you
in
need
there
scorers.
as a-
You need defense.
as
You
a-
need good goalie play. And clearly, Francis Marat is not consistent anymore. He's had rough games. He's had really good games. He's
They're
young. We
outscoring
can't
the
expect
opponent 73 to
consistency.
60 right now. That's a huge. That's a
And
13
they
goal
lost to
margin.
Air Force 6-2.
Okay,
That's what I'm
they
looking at.
lost
And
to
who's
Air
in
Force
first place?
6-2.
Air Force.
You
All
only
right.
need one bad
right.
game to destroy you. And speaking of bad games, the Falcons absolutely obliterated the Packers en route to its 2nd franchise Super Bowl appearance. So, what's the biggest thing you fellas took away from this game?
I was right.
I like the mic drop, by the way.
I was right, by the way. You
Beautiful.
guys told me that you didn't think Matt Ryan was better than Aaron Rodgers, and he proved it in this game. He proved it with the spectacular numbers he put up. You cannot argue how good Matt Ryan looked in that game,
I
how good the
think
defense looked in that game, forcing timely turnovers.
Sam,
Oh,
I'm going to let you
definitely.
finish here in a minute, but let me talk for like 5 seconds. That's all I want.
One.
I truly think that Aaron Rodgers finally learned that he can't win a game with a Hail Mary.
And that's 5 seconds. All right.
That's
now,
all I needed.
I like it. Now, they stopped Aaron Rodgers later in the game. Aaron Rodgers was doing this thing throughout the first quarter and partially through the
Did they
second
get
quarter.
any points in the first quarter?
No,
They didn't.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
that's
they
the thing.
shut out in the first.
They drove down the field. Their
Did they get
third
any
string
points?
running back
Did they
fumbled
get
the
any
ball.
points? No.
No, but you can't blame it on Aaron. Aaron took them to where they needed to score, and then
And
the
you're
rest
right,
of the team
but it
faltered.
just showed the flaws in that entire Green Bay
Oh,
Packers
yeah, no
team.
doubt. The
This
Packers
kind
have
of
some
sounds
issues
like the
that we're
AFC
glaring.
Championship game.
He's
It's
right.
kind of the same deal. The Steelers, Ben Roethlisberger was Aaron Rodgers in the AFC.
But Aaron Rodgers did nothing to really. I mean, you're right. He drove him down the field.
Yeah.
But like Matt Ryan did not have a running game with him. It was all him driving them down the field.
I
and
think
he
he
made
more
the
so
scores
chose
happen.
to not have the running
Another
game with him that
repetitive
day, 'cause
theme.
I would rather have Devontae Freeman.
So why
running
didn't the
ball for me
Packers
20,
choose not to have the
30
running
times.
game with them?
Because they have no running game. All 3 of their running backs are hurt.
There was
They had
also
to
no
rely on the
pressure
front
on
string.
Ryan, or there was no pressure on Ryan like there was on Brady. It's the same theme. It's the NFC and the AFC championships games.
Why was there no
were
pressure
basically
on
the
Matt
same.
Ryan? He's 1-4 in the playoffs. Of course
don't
there's
know why.
pressure on him. But now that we have talked about both these games, the Super Bowl matchup is officially set. New England Patriots at the Atlanta Falcons. They'll meet in Houston for Super Bowl 51. Now, guys, what are your picks for who's going to hoist the Lombardi Trophy?
I'm honestly so 50-50 on this one. It could go either way. It depends on which quarterback.
You can make a pick right now.
If I have
Just
to
right now, give me it.
Patriots.
Patriots.
With the black and yellow flowing through my blood, I understand the Patriots may win, but with that on air,
It's too much pride to
I
say
would
the
like
Patriots
to say
will win.
that the Atlanta Falcons are going to beat Tom Brady and Bill
Why?
Belichick. I don't think that's going to
You don't-
happen.
you don't
I want
know,
that
and
to
it's
happen,
okay.
but that's not what's going to happen. Mainly for a fun fact, Matt Ryan has never beat the Patriots.
I mean, how many times has he played the Patriots?
I mean,
though?
also
But
Tom
he's
Brady.
never beat them either way.
Even
if they played him once or twice, he hasn't beat them.
That's
We
still
haven't-
not,
we haven't
that's
beat
a
the
meaning.
Patriots.
That's a meaningless statistic if they've played twice.
I didn't say it was a statistic. I said it was a fun fact.
Well, it's not very
Yeah, it
fun,
wasn't
Greg.
very fun.
I thought it
So
was fun.
I want to talk about the New England Patriots and why they're going to not only win, but they're going to destroy the Atlanta
Little
Falcons.
hometown love,
Bill Belichick. No, we're not.
No.
We're not throwing hometown love here. We're talking Bill Belichick. We're talking Tom Brady and the best scoring defense in the NFL that people do not talk about.
15.5 points allowed.
Why do people not talk about that more often? Because they're too busy talking about Tom Brady. They think all they got to do is score on him, and little do they know that the defense is going to shut them down. Ask the Pittsburgh Steelers
Malcolm
because
Butler
it happened to
and
them.
Antonio Brown.
Patrick Chung. You have Devin McCourty on the defense. You have so many good players. Branch on the defensive line.
They have a bunch of
phenomenal.
very good players that come together
All
and
right.
create a defense.
We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we are going to see if the Pittsburgh Penguins are expected to make another strong playoff run, and if the Pirates did great this offseason. Come back to see who Sam thinks is wrong next, all on Sports Talk in the Burgh.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
When I get all steamed up, then I shout.
Tip me over and pour me out. Oh. The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Cheers. Take time to be a dad today.
Oh, look, a redhead.
Staring contest.
You still got it.
I know.
Come alive with the forest.
The dad was cute.
You were looking right at us.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.
Welcome back to Sports Talk in the Burgh. Now, this year's women's hockey team that seemingly couldn't do wrong. However, they do indeed have some flaws. So answer me this, guys. What will be the one thing that holds this team back from reaching the Frozen Four?
You heard me talk about this last week, Rashad, and I'm going to go back to it. It's the goaltending. Jessica Dodds is an unproven postseason goaltender, yet to get a win in her 4-year career. I don't have enough faith in Lauren Bailey to hold the fort down. You saw her against Lindenwood. When it's a tight game, she let up an easy goal and gave Lindenwood that win. She played a very good game, but when it comes down to those big moments, I don't think they have a goalie who's going to be able to make those big stops.
And that's the thing. It's like their overtime total is insane. Yeah, they won 16 games, but they also tied 6, which is above normal. And when you're tying with these, I thought were mediocre teams, what happens? Yeah, what happens when you go into this tournament and face Wisconsin or Minnesota or teams like that?
You play Wisconsin or Minnesota, you lose every time.
Yeah,
and that's my pick.
They can't get it done in regulation, and that's their problem.
And you know what? Clearly, it's proven that they're a good team because they've stayed in that number 7 ranking for 3 weeks. But you're right. When they're playing these close games, and I know it's conference opponents, it's hockey, anything can happen, but we're the only team in the conference with a winning record. If we're truly a top 10 team, we should be destroying these teams. And a lot of that comes down to the goaltenders because our RMU cannot score 5 goals every game. There's going to be games where they score only 2 or 3 because that's just the way hockey goes. Sometimes you need a goaltender who's going to be able to make those plays.
Absolutely. You need to have a brick wall in front of the net in order to win the game.
Yeah.
That's
Absolutely.
True. That's definitely true.
Let's move from college, though, to the NHL. The Pittsburgh Penguins are coming off a huge 5-1 win over the Boston Bruins, their 4th win in a row after dropping 3 straight for the first time in over a year. Now that the Pens are back to their winning ways, is another big playoff run in the works.
I believe it.
I'm feeling it.
You feeling
liking it.
All right.
I'm liking the way it's looking right now.
I love it. I mean, last year they were able to they had to face the Capitals and Raiders, 2 teams that are above them now. They're going to do it again this year.
Definitely.
And I think they're a much better team.
Like
than
Sam said
with
Sam said in the women's hockey.
Oh wait, he's circling
Give me
stats.
another chance real quick. Like you said in the women's hockey, anything can happen in a conference game. And they're all in the Metropolitan.
Yeah.
Which means if they beat them last year, look, just like if you just watch the way they play as a great unit.
Cool, Greg. They score a lot of goals. That's really great. You know what they do? Also, they let up a lot of goals. They have the 22nd worst goals against average.
I understand that.
That is in fact what I circled. How can a team that is that bad defensively and in net going to make.
They're going to outscore them.
Exactly.
Right now, they have the highest.
Did you not
They
just
have
listen
the
to that last
highest goal
segment we had where we said that you can't do that?
You can.
You cannot do that.
They're proving you wrong right
yeah,
now.
there's a difference
They're
when you're
doing
the highest
No, you know what?
scoring
There's a
team in the
difference
league.
between regular
They're
season
doing
play
it.
and postseason play. All right, when you have to play 7 games against the Washington Capitals, you know who's going to win 4 of
The
those
Penguins!
games? The Capitals, because they can score on a weak defense.
Maybe.
You're not going to be able to score 8 goals like you did in that overtime win. That's just
Okay,
not going
let's
to happen.
not bring up the 8-7 win.
Because that
in
was
overtime.
that was not a good game.
That was not a
8-7
good
win
game.
is still a win.
But that's what I'm
regardless.
saying here. Is that
Regardless,
if
but
they
it
have
wasn't a good
performances
win.
like
It
that,
was
they're
weak.
not going to be able
But you
to
have to
sustain.
think about it. They won 8-7, which means the opposite defense across the ice from them was equally bad. You have to think about that. Okay, but we're going to jump from the ice to the grass, and we're going to talk about the Pittsburgh Pirates offseason performance. Now, let's just think. How would you guys grade the Pittsburgh Pirates and how they did this offseason?
A solid C.
I would say a C because you know what I'll give them a C plus.
A C
where I'm gonna
plus.
go.
That's very
Slightly
positive.
Please
above
explain to me why you
average,
added the
all right?
plus.
Because they're re-signing the guys they should. I believe it was a really good move to re-sign Nova. He's a good pitcher for what you're getting for him. You have guys like Francisco Cervelli, who I still believe, even though we signed him even though the Pirates signed him to a big deal, that he's a very valuable catcher when it comes
Absolutely.
to. But
he's very spiritual when he leads the team in that way, which is a very important.
and that's great. The chemistry of the Pirates is great. But you know what they need to do? They need to get rid of Andrew McCutchen. And this is something I really want to talk about for a long time because he's just not. Explain to me. Why would we keep Andrew McCutchen?
Okay, let's just take.
What about his performance last year makes you say this is the guy we want to keep in our starting lineup?
Let us take a step back in Pirates history. Jason Bay.
Yeah.
He had an off season or two, right?
Yeah.
We traded him. What happened the next season?
He played a phenomenal
He
season.
blew up. He went Super All-Star again.
Do you remember what happened when he left the Red Sox a year later to go to the Mets? He was horrible.
That happened.
He was overpaid and he failed. So you know what? The Pirates should get rid of him while he's
Give
valuable.
him one more season.
Give him one more season.
Jose Batista. What happened?
He boomed.
He boomed. He's still booming.
So you're comparing him to a Batista. He's not the same player as Batista.
Every player
if you
goes
look
through a
at
slump.
the numbers.
Every player goes through a slump somewhere in their career. Some players hit it earlier in their career, and some do not.
It's not a slump, it's a decline.
You have to give it a chance. It looks like a decline, but it may just be a slump.
All right, well, you know, Greg, this is all the time we have right now for that. So we're going to move on to
lightning
the
round.
Sam Anthony patented lightning round. So we're going to fire some rapid fire questions, see how many questions we can answer to finish off the show. We're going to start off here with the Pro Bowl this weekend. Who is excited to watch that game?
Me, but I got
My hands are. Oh, you can see it.
Why?
Okay, yeah.
Why are you excited to watch
It's
the Pro
the
Bowl?
Pro Bowl. You're seeing the best players in the NFL play against each other in a basically unregulated game.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just going to see the ball go up.
You're not seeing the best players play,
You
but
get
I
to
digress.
see things in the All-Star game, or the Pro Bowl, I guess it is, that in a regular season game, Roger Goodell would be like, fine. It's a fun game to watch. It's an amazing game to watch. It's just fun to watch.
Lightning round. Keep moving here.
Watch.
Michigan football taking their spring football to Rome. Is that too over the top?
I mean,
Kinda.
I don't think you
Yeah.
need an overseas trip.
I'm feeling that's a little excessive. I don't understand why you'd want to take it to Rome of all places.
Why not just stay home?
It's a nice college experience for these guys, yeah? No?
Just study
If you
abroad.
want a good college experience like that, like Rashad just said, study
study
But college
abroad.
football players can't study abroad. They're playing Division I football.
I mean,
Okay.
you should just
All
drop
right.
a year of Division I football. And go
It's
study
just
abroad.
worth it, right?
It's just like
Break
that,
your
you
leg,
know?
get a red shirt.
Yeah, you know.
There you go.
Go
You
spend
can
that
go.
year overseas.
Well, we'll switch to Clemson now for college
All
football
right.
here. Deshaun Watson declined to play in the Senior Bowl despite the Cleveland Browns asking. Does that look worse on the Cleveland Browns or Deshaun Watson?
Definitely the Cleveland Browns, because that just shows how much,
they're
how
desperate
little
at this point.
interest college quarterbacks are showing in playing for the Cleveland Browns. Because I mean, it's actually in the name, Brown.
There's a reason why the phrase "I'm taking the Browns to the Super Bowl" is a phrase.
It's
They're garbage.
not a good phrase.
It's definitely not
it's
a good
phrase
phrase.
that you associate with a team that's bad, and that's exactly what the Cleveland Browns are.
And they
That's why
deserve to be
Deshaun Watson
flushed.
declined it.
All right, and now that the Steelers season is over, what is their biggest need going into that off season?
11 good players on defense.
I wouldn't even say that they need to work on defense, but they need a quarterback. They need somebody to follow Ben
You
out.
think they go for a quarterback now?
They need one now. They needed one 2 years
So
ago.
you
They
think Ben
needed one 4
Roethlisberger's
years
gonna leave?
ago. But
No, I'm not saying he's going to leave, but they need somebody to shadow Ben Roethlisberger in order for him to be, in order for the rookie to be ready to take over.
do
his
a
role.
whole Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre thing. You bring in Aaron
Exactly
Rodgers a
mundo.
couple years before Brett Favre's out. He develops under him. He comes out a superstar.
Exactly.
Okay.
It works out fine.
On that note, We're going to end the show. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today. But please stay. Join us next week on more Sports Talk in the Burgh.